I don't think I work with the light or the shadow of the organization. I think that I help create the space for people to do that. That's at least how I frame it in my mind, because I don't feel that I should come in and start tampering. Just as human spirit, I would not want to be responsible for taking on someone's human spirit and doing something for them. I feel the same way. I feel very honored when they invite me to come and join them. But it is the companion role that you might think of walking with them while they are doing the work that they need to do. So in approaching it, and I think this is where I found appreciative inquiry so valuable, I find that if people can find what's good, share some common, sense of what is the light in the organization, they are better able to enter into exploring the darkness. And I saw that happen at the community college that I told you about that was very poorly financed, having difficulties, and the students were so terrific. And so clearly everybody was working incredibly hard to serve these students, even though it was harder for them to work within the shadow aspect of this institution. But I think it's because we had really surfaced what they valued, what was good about the institution, that they were able to come together in this large circle and begin to identify where the institution caused them pain. So, I really think it's a case of two things: helping them create a space for them to help find the light, so that they then have the courage to start looking at the darker shadow aspects of the organization. And you get at it in the same way, I think, and that is by telling stories. That's, you can do almost, I don't know how the people at Case Western would feel about doing the reverse of appreciative inquiry, but it really is very similar. What is the most painful story, experience you've had here? Who was involved? What were the characteristics? What was going on? And then, starting to find some themes across the stories that people hear. And what are we going to do about that? Does this look like, when I do appreciative inquiry and people come up with the themes they've heard across the stories, I say, does this look like your college? Is there anything missing? These are all the positive themes. Well, I really do something very similar with the themes of the shadow side. And in some ways, and I think it's just probably, it's a natural tendency of mine to maintain some sense of humor, some not joking, but a little bit of sense of lightness, so that they can look at it and realize this isn't awful, not be overwhelmed by what they're looking at. And that's one of the advantages that a facilitator brings into, and that is, you can say, you're not alone. This isn't the only institution that is exploring. In fact, higher education as an institution has a shadow that comes across in a variety of ways in a lot of colleges and universities. But then what are the aspects of it, and beginning to say, what kind of agreements would you make to try to change away from that? And how would you help each other do that, rather than just, we're all going to expect the president to make all the big changes and everything. But I'm still myself feeling my way very carefully about that.